Have you ever asked yourself why you hardly hear about some African countries, while others like Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, and Ghana are frequent and common country to your ears? One of the reasons for this is internet penetration, which varies from country to country. In today's world, access to the internet is more than a luxury, it's a necessity. Yet across Africa, millions are still living with limited to no access to the digital world. Here are the top 10 African countries with the lowest percentage of internet users in 2024. Coming in at number 10 is the Democratic Republic of Congo. Despite vast natural resources and a population of over 100 million, only 27.2% of the people here are connected to the web. You'd think that with that population size, internet use would soar, but infrastructure issues have kept many offline. That's a quarter of the population just barely online. Let's move on. Eritrea, ranked 9th, with 26.7% of its population using the internet. It's a country that's been relatively closed off from the world for decades. Even today, internet access remains tightly controlled, mostly available in major urban centers. That means the majority are still disconnected in more ways than one. Madagascar comes in at number 8 with 20.6% internet penetration. This island nation, while rich in biodiversity, lags behind digitally. Many areas are rural, and the cost of internet access here is still far too high for most people. You can feel the isolation, both physically and digitally. Burkina Faso comes in at number 7. Internet users make up just 19.9% of the population. Political instability and economic struggles have made building infrastructure a challenge. The people here, they've faced so much adversity. But as mobile phone networks spread, there's a small glimmer of hope. Ethiopia takes the 6th spot with 19.4%. For a country with a rich cultural history and a growing economy, this number feels low. Rural areas struggle the most. Efforts to connect people are ongoing. But until then, over 80% of the population remains in the dark, digitally speaking. In 5th place, we have Niger. Here, only 16.9% of people are online. The vast desert landscapes might be breathtaking, but they also create massive barriers to digital connectivity. It's hard to build infrastructure when communities are spread so far apart. Yet, even with those challenges, small pockets of connection are starting to emerge. South Sudan is number 4 on our list, with 12.1% internet penetration. This country has faced incredible hardship: war, displacement, famine. The internet could be a lifeline for information, but instead, it remains out of reach for nearly 90% of its people. The focus right now, for many, is on survival. Connectivity? That's a dream for another time. Burundi is at number 3. Just 11.26% of its population is online. For one of the world's poorest countries, the internet remains a luxury that few can afford. Infrastructure is scarce. There are some efforts to expand mobile networks, but in the meantime, it's a country mostly offline. In 2nd place is the Central African Republic, with internet penetration of 11.8%. This is a country rich in natural beauty and resources, but that wealth hasn't translated into internet access. Conflict, poverty, and lack of investment all play a part in keeping its population in digital isolation. The internet here is a distant hope for many. And now, number 1, Somalia. Only 9.5% of its people are online, the lowest on the continent. Years of conflict have left the country's infrastructure in ruins. But even in these difficult conditions, you find resilience. Despite the low internet penetration, the figure represents an over 700% increase since 2021. The few who are connected use the internet for education, for business, for survival. Somalia's digital journey is still in its infancy, but there's hope that one day, more will be able to join the global conversation. These are the countries where the digital divide is more than just a gap. It's a reality. Access to information, education, and global opportunity all hinge on a connection. Until these barriers are lifted, millions remain disconnected, unheard, and left behind.